Welcome back, ODHtv Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 10, The Cliffhanger. Was RAQ really taken out by Kanan? What really happened since Kanan has gone over to his mom's house about as deranged as Unique is? I've already done a breakdown video on what I believe happened in this part of the finale. But I feel a few things have to be revisited because a few extra things came to mind. So I'm going to tell you right now that I do not believe that Kanan took out his mom. I do not believe, even though this was his intention when he went over there, I do not believe that he shot his mom. So my question is, did Kanan or Marvin save RAQ? After rewatching some of these scenes over, a few things popped out at me, and I'm curious as to what you, the viewer, believed happened. Before I do talk about the few things that I did notice, I do want to say this about Mekhi Curtis. He's a good actor. And he was able to pull a lot of emotion out of all of us. Regardless of what you think of the writing, he was able to take those words and really remind us of stupid people that we have in our lives by the way he was able to deliver these lines, facial expressions, body language, everything. But it doesn't change the fact that they changed his character into a demented goofball and he wasn't even beat with a pipe. As we know earlier in the episode, Phil Russo gave Unique the okay to be as loud as he wants, to do whatever he has to do. And immediately Unique went back to New York to get his guys ready for war so he could exact his revenge on RAQ. Which to me brings us to this scene, where Lou is trying to have a man-to-man talk with Kanan, and trying to explain to him about taking responsibility for your own problems. Which seems to be a running theme because when RAQ, Jukebox, and Kanan were at the diner, RAQ told him it must be nice having me in your life, somebody to point the finger at. She also told him that she's not going to help him anymore, he's going to have to stand and take care of his own responsibilities. But as Lou was trying to explain that they're all family and they're always going to be family, this was said.
That's why hearing that you talking with Neek is so fucked up.
He's subtly trying to warn Kanan that they're family, and he doesn't want to have to go against him.
Neek ain't just coming after your mother. He coming after all us.
But what Kanan says next is one of the things that has me thinking about this cliffhanger.
Ain't looking at her and anybody next to her. That ain't me.
Or is it? I mean, remember, Unique is deranged. He's nuts. So if he goes to RAQ's house and sees Kanan in there with her, he doesn't know that Kanan's pointing a gun at her. He could look in that window and see Kanan and RAQ and believe that they're still working together trying to set him up. We'll come right back to that. But watching Kanan in the rest of this scene reminds me of him in the original Power series.
Don't matter who told me. What matters is it's true. She did that shit.
What are they saying he did?
Whatever they saying he did that shit.
Just like she did it.
The way everybody's been playing with that simple brain of his, I knew that was going to come up this season. Even though they didn't decide to start making Raising Kanan until I believe like Power Season 4, they were able to reverse engineer it so that you can see why he liked Tariq so much, because Tariq reminded him of himself. So one more time.
Don't matter who told me. What matters is it's true. She did that shit.
What are they saying he did?
Whatever they saying he did that shit.
Just like she did it.
So that brings us back to here with Kanan standing next to RAQ regardless of the reason. We see him aim, we see him hesitate, and then we see RAQ's head move over to the side, almost revealing something outside. Then we see Kanan raise his weapon again and slightly adjust his aim, so there's always the slight possibility of him now aiming over her shoulder at whatever he may or may not have seen outside. Then of course we see RAQ close her eyes, the screen goes black, a little bit of time passes, and then we hear what seems to be a gunshot. Now my question about Marvin coming in is where my conspiracy brain starts with these similar sounds. That kicking in the door sound sounds like a gunshot. Now I'm not saying they use that sound of Marvin kicking in the door, but what I'm saying is that could be the sound of someone kicking in a door. Remember, we don't know who Jukebox called or how many phone calls she made. She could have called Marvin and RAQ, and maybe Detective Garcia. We don't know. I talked about her maybe calling Detective Garcia in my last video, but I don't think that's who she called. But we never know. But that's the fun of doing this because there's so many possibilities. But however, that could be Marvin kicking in that door. And like I said in my last video, I don't think it's Lou because I think that was Lou she was talking to on the phone. I think that was Lou that called RAQ to let her know that he secured Panessa and Jerome somewhere and now he's trying to find out what's next. So again, with the limited information that we have, I believe that it has to be Marvin, or it could be Marvin and Jukebox. Maybe Jukebox called Marvin and he was close by, picked up Jukebox, and they shot over to RAQ's house, and maybe that's why they got there soon after Kanan did. But staying with the same theme of the season, I thought it was real cool that they played Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones when the screen went black. The song is sung in the first person by Mick Jagger as the devil, explaining that, yeah, I'm evil. And as the devil, he's explaining that he's responsible for a lot of the chaos that went down in the world. He also says, yeah, I'm evil, but I didn't do everything. I'm not responsible for everything that went on in your life. You have to take responsibility for some of your actions. They always pick the perfect songs for this show.
Fuck you gonna say?
That right there. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll be back in the next one.
Player to player, I mean, games that you playing, I seen. The chance that I'm taking, I mean, these things that I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I really need. I don't even know if you're feeling me.